Hi everyone and welcome to Season 13, Episode 6 of From Hope to Glory at Truro City. Welcome along. So I hope you're doing okay. I'm sorry for the last couple of days that there wasn't as much content as usual, but we're back at it today and we've got an interesting fixture lined up. 4th placed Chelsea plays 7th placed Truro. We're doing really well and there's a couple of transfers to tell you about as well. So here we go. Welcome back to Truro City. We have indeed got a couple more transfers to tell you about. 3 players have left the club as well. The last episode that we had was right at the back end of the January transfer window and it hadn't closed at that point. And since you and I met last, I've made 2 signings and moved 3 players on. And I think we've improved the squad over this January window for this second half of the season. And it's showing in the results that we've had so far through February. You can see we played 3 times in February, or if I move that up, you can see it. Crystal Palace, West Ham, Bournemouth, and then into March we played Villa. We lost against Villa in the last match. Disappointing game. We never really got going, but the 3 matches in February were excellent, and it's boosted us up the table a little bit. For a minute, we were in 6th place, but we have dropped back down to 7th. We've got a couple of big games coming up, though. You can see that today we played Chelsea on the episode, followed immediately by Arsenal at home as well. So 2 home fixtures, but 2 big boys. And then Man City are still to come in the run-in as well. So a couple of big teams to play, but we are sitting really very pretty in the Premier League, sitting in 7th position after 29 matches, 2 points behind Tottenham in 6th, and we've got a little bit of a gap between us and West Ham, who are sitting down in 8th as well. So I think we're doing pretty well. Can we squeeze up into that top 6? Maybe not. We'll have to see. Today, it's going to be tricky, but before we get into this match, let's go check out those transfers. So my only intention in the January window was find better players than what we have. And it didn't matter which positions they were in. I just had a little bit of money. I was trying to find as good a player as I could to bring into the squad. And I think we've done okay. We did quite a lot of business. We bought in Herbert from Chelsea on loan. He's going to be our left fullback. We bought Daniel Silva from Genk for 20 million, rising to 24. He's going to be a holding midfield player, but he can also support the fullbacks as well. And we've got 2 more to show you. But first off, we'll see that Benamor, Wright Phillips and Nelson have all left the club. That's a left fullback, a right winger and a central defender. And you can tell by the type of club that have bought them and the fee that they were going for, they were not really up to the standard that we need anymore in the Premier League. So those 3 have gone. But who did we bring in? Well, the first that we bought in is actually for £33.5 million. Now, when you first look at him, you will wonder whether I've completely lost my mind in a way, because Jocelyn Laurens, who we bought from Club Bruges, doesn't look amazing. I mean, he looks good. We've got a good striker here. 15 finishing, dribbling, first touches both 17, acceleration, agility is decent, pace is good, teamwork is good. There's a few gaps around the place, but this is the thing. What I bought in the January window with the likes of Silva in that holding midfield role was somebody who could also cover the fullback positions. And with Laurens, I've actually not bought him in to be my number 1 striker. What I've bought him in for is to play out on the left-hand side specifically, but also be able to cover the striker if need be. I wanted a little bit of a couple of players in the squad that could play multiple positions. So I've paid over the odds for this guy a little bit, I think. But ultimately, it even looks a little bit weird if you just put him on the left-hand side until you click on this one, inside forward on attack. And then you'll notice that all of his green options for his role, other than maybe off the ball, are pretty decent. Acceleration is great. Dribbling, finishing, first touch are all brilliant. He's got fantastic teamwork, so he's going to give his all for us. The pace is an absolute bonus. He's got some gaps in his mentals, definitely. But I think off the left-hand side, once he gets used to us, once he beds himself in, I think he could do something for us, and I think it potentially could get some goals for us off that left-hand side if we use him well. So far, he's played 4 matches, hasn't really done anything too much so far. Disappointing average rating, but we'll bed him in slowly, and I still think that it's worthwhile putting him out there and seeing what happens. If it doesn't work, we've got a player currently valued at 35 million. We can get our money back on him if need be, but I think it can, and we'll see whether it does over time. But not quite the all-round player that we want necessarily, but I think he can do a job for us. But we live and die by our choices, and we'll have to wait and see. This is the other guy, though. I have no worries about this guy at all. He's on loan for the second half of this season, hopefully with the possibility of getting him further. We'll see. Callum Naismith, in from Arsenal, is just a really good upgrade on our central defenders. Mentals are really outrageously good for 21 years old. Physicals are very good. Little bit, if we could have a 15 on pace, I think that would be amazing. But other than that, they're all there. And he's got 15 on tackling, 15 on heading, 14 marking. Still room for a little bit of improvement here and there. But he's come in and he started pretty well for us. He's played a few games for us so far. And again, this is the key to my January window. He can cover the central position and the right fullback position as well. So if we go in and have a look at our squad currently in the tactical page, you'll see that Silva is the other one that we bought in the January window, can cover both fullback positions and this central defensive midfield position. And whether or not all of these 3 players become proper nailed-on first-team members of our first team for us, Naismith, Silva and Lawrence, is not as important to me as the fact that we've got better cover across multiple positions as we move forward. So that's what my intention was. We'll work again in the summer to continue to improve the squad, but for now it's not too bad. Whilst we're on the tactical page, we might as well build up to the Chelsea match, which is coming up in a moment. We've got a few injuries, unfortunately, and they're quite key ones in a few ways. Claridge and Joan, both our 2 other central defenders, are out for today. We've got Herbert, who's ineligible because it's his parent club that we're playing. And Dudita and Henderson are both slightly unfit. Izvikov is as well, but we've had to put somebody on the bench to cover that left wing position. So Izvikov gets the shout. But ultimately, everybody else is pretty good in terms of their fitness. So we are going in for today's match against Chelsea in the Premier League with Wendell in goal, Swan at right back, Ionel at left back, Naismith and Colombini in central defence, Silva, Marks and Morrison in central midfield, White on the right, Lawrence on the left and Signorelli up top with a bench of Williams, Gonzalez, Goodwin, Thompson, Bondor, Izvikov and Abu Bakar. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So with this type of game, we've gone with very chilled out. We've got nothing to lose. Let's just go show everybody what we're capable of. Whatever happens in today, it's a little bit of a free hit, isn't it, really? Anytime we come up against one of these sort of top 6 sides, we do the best that we can at the moment. As a progressing club, as a building club, we just do as much as we can to compete, and we'll see what happens in this particular game. Hopefully, we perform well. Hopefully, we compete and we look good. There's the table again. The other positive about the table that we talked about, I think, in the last episode, is we are now in that plus goal difference for now. 4 plus goal difference in our league position, which is something that we needed to do. Shift the goals into our favour a little bit in terms of goals scored compared to goals conceded. So we're down the right-hand side for us in the first highlight of the day. White gets the ball in, and it's an early goal. A really early goal, 5 minutes in, off a right-hand side throw-in from Swan. Eventually, White gets hold of the ball from the throw-in and does really, really well to jink. He gets it off to Swan, gets it back, jinks past the defender there into the ball in the middle of the penalty box, and Morrison swivels on the spot. and puts it home across the goalkeeper into that far corner. As a highlight straight away, I think that's going to anger Chelsea quite a little bit, if I'm totally honest. We'll see what happens with them as they come back at us. But they are working nicely down this left-hand side. We're holding our shape, so maybe we can get a foot in, but they're moving the ball very nicely. We got a block on that particular shot, but it didn't run for us. Unfortunately, they picked up the loose ball again. There's a lot of players there, and they've gone over the top, and it's a very, very nicely worked goal, as long as he held his run, which I think he did. We'll have to see. Or maybe he didn't. We'll see what happens. Goal disallowed. We're lucky on that one a little bit. The ball movement was brilliant, and then he did just move too early, unfortunately. Really lovely ball over the top. What a lovely volley that is over the shoulder, but ultimately, he had moved too early, and we'll live to fight another day on that one. But it's a corner kick to Chelsea into the box. And the goalkeeper, a massive mountain of a goalkeeper, remember, Wendell, really tall, comes out, flaps at the ball a little bit, and doesn't really cover himself in too much glory, does he, at that point? It was a straight shootout between him and the attacking player who gets onto the ball. He should have had the advantage there. Didn't quite manage it. I think one of our defenders might have got in his way slightly, but we do go back to 1-1. And hopefully the momentum doesn't shift too much in Chelsea's favour. Hopefully we can still remain competitive and still trying to push at them and cause them some problems. But again, they've taken the ball from us. Our left fullback seems to have picked up a knockover on that far side. We'll have to check him out in a second. Rodrigo through on goal. This is unfortunate, isn't it? You can see the quality of ball movement that they have in and around the penalty box is far superior, potentially, to what we have to counter that in terms of defensive qualities. They are absolutely running riot when they get the opportunity. We picked up that early goal, and it didn't really do us too many favours, did it? It kind of seemed to just wake up the beast a little bit. We're going to pause the game momentarily because I just want to go and see what this guy's injury is about. INL on the left-hand side, what has he got and what's it saying? Wants to stay on, but injury is affecting him. What has he got? Potential hand injury. A potential hand injury? Yeah, get on with it, my fella. That's what we're talking about there. I'm not going to take him off for that one at this particular moment. No way. We haven't got an official left fullback on the bench, I think, today. No, because our fullback, the other fullback, is not able to play because of his parent club being Chelsea. So he might have to carry on for a little while. Of course, we can move Silva back into that role from midfield now, which is one of the positives of having him in and around the squad, and replace him in midfield. But I don't really want to do it just at the moment. 2-1 Chelsea are up. They're on the ball with a goal kick. They go long and they win it. And you're always in trouble when your defenders don't win those long clearances from the goalkeeper, aren't you? Totally are. And it just feels like there is just that extra little bit of quality in and around their attacking third that we're not coping with particularly well. At the moment, we're in the positive mentality. We might start in the balanced for the second half and just see if we can keep the ball a little bit better. But it's not a terrible first half by any stretch of the imagination. We had a couple of shots at goal, couple on target, which is okay. They've had more possession, more shots, all of the stuff that you would expect. But it's just a little bit disappointing when you go one up and you don't manage to hold on to that lead for more than like 30 seconds or whatever it was, which is just a shame. But there we go. That's just one of those things. So we're going to go into the dressing room. Excuse my throat a little bit at the moment. I've got a little bit, not a sore throat, but I've just been using my voice a lot through being on stream on twitch.tv/the United City FM. If you haven't been over there and found me there every weekday afternoon, I've been doing that. I've been singing in my chorus and my quartet a little bit, so my voice is just a little bit shot today. But let's see where we are at with this one. We're gonna go hands together. Show me something else in the second half, just to put the onus on them to play better. Then we can come out, go into the shouts, demand more from them, and switch the mentality to balanced rather than positive. and just see if we can keep the ball a little bit better than we did in that first half. Goal kick for us. Notice we haven't gone long like they did. We've tried to build up and maintain possession. Let's see if that works for us. Lawrence, the new guy, on the left-hand side, charges through a couple of challenges, then gets to the top of the box and puts an okay shot at goal, low and hard, but it was pretty much straight at the goalkeeper, unfortunately. But there is his sighter. If he can get another one on another side at goal, maybe he'll do a little bit better with that next one, possibly, but we'll see. He hasn't covered himself in glory just yet, unfortunately. It hasn't been a gamble that's paid off for me, putting him out on that left-hand side just at the moment, but we'll plug away with it for a little while, especially because Izvikov and Dudita, is it? Dudita out on that left-hand side. They're neither one of them are totally fit at the moment, and they've walked it into the back of the net again, haven't they? There's a reason why they're higher up in the table than we are, and it's plainly obvious to see on this performance. We can try and do something about it, but I'm not sure we'll be able to, because I just think they've got quality. We are going to take the left full-back out now. We're going to put Gonzalez in and switch him and Silva around. Silva will have to play on that left-hand side for us. That's what we've got him for. But look at these ratings moving up the pitch. Now, this is ridiculous. Marks has played pretty well for us so far this season. He's a decent enough player. Not today. Not today. And he's low in his conditioning as well. So Goodwin will have to come and replace him. And then we've got Lawrence and Signorelli up top not playing well either. Only one of them can come off. Unfortunately for Signorelli, to a point, Lawrence stays on because I don't really want to risk Izvikov at this particular moment with an injury. So we're going to take Signorelli off instead and put Abubakar up top. And what we are actually going to do, which is another reason why we've now bought these couple of players in, is we can switch him up and put him up front alongside Abubakar if we like. And yes, it's asymmetric and weird and it's unbalanced and all sorts of other things, but sometimes you just got to do it, haven't you? So what we're going to do, we're going to take out the tiki-taka and we are going to go and let's press them. Let's Gegem press them. I know that there's a gap here, but hopefully we'll be able to fill that gap in and around. But let's see if we can put the pressure on them a little bit. And just see if we can win the ball higher up the pitch and cause them a few problems in this last 15 minutes or so and see if we can get a chance or two. So we're going back in the shouts. Oh, no, we're not. What on earth has happened here? What am I missing? Oh, no. Okay, it's just come over the top of the pitch. I couldn't work out whether we'd had a player sent off or an injury or something. And it wasn't that at all. I just pressed a button and it came over the top of the screen. Pro moves, Kev, pro moves. There we go. 10 minutes left. We're going to go into the shouts and we're going to fire them up for these last few minutes. One chance? Is that too much to ask for? It probably is, but we'll ask for it anyway. Come on, one chance. Couple of minutes left of added injury time. One shot, please. Give me one shot. Just one? Anything? Please? No. Okay, so ultimately, it's exactly what I said it was going to be. It's one of those games where it's a bit of a free hit. Chelsea are very good. We are not as good as our league position suggests sometimes, I think. There are still some gaps in our team that still need to improve. Then we come up against Chelsea and they're better. So they won 2-1. They got all of the stats in their favour, shots at goal, on target, XG ratings, possession of the ball, passing completion, all of those kinds of things. They kind of, in this area here, in this final third for them and in our defensive unit for us, we didn't really do enough. Our central defenders played well. Players around them, not so much. There we go. That happens. It was against one of the big boys. We move on. Hopefully it doesn't disrupt us too much. But of course, that is now 2 losses in a row with that Villa loss as well. So we need to change that pretty quickly. So with the gap that we had behind us before the match, it means that nobody's caught us up yet, and West Ham still haven't played their 30th match, so they can close the gap, but they won't catch us at this point. The other problem, of course, now is that Tottenham have the chance at 29 matches still to play an extra game and get up to 56 points, which just widens the gap between us and them a little bit. So we could find ourselves a little bit in no man's land in 7th here if we're not careful. So we need to get back to winning ways as soon as we can, really. What have we got coming up? We've got another tricky game against Arsenal. Now, they're sitting below us in the league, but maybe that's a false position. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. And that's followed up in April by Everton, Watford, City, Newcastle, Brighton. And then the lead up to the end of the season is Leeds and Southampton. So those are the games that we've got left. I think, do I either want to go straight to Southampton and play these games? I think I probably do. I think what we're going to come back for next episode is the last game of the season. We'll just see how this one plays out. I think we're pushing for a European spot, but I think ultimately we might just miss out on this particular occasion. But it's still a continued step forward for us, I think, whatever happens this season. So I think I'll come back, play the last game of the season and catch you up on everything that happened in between times in that half dozen games or so. And we'll see where that leaves us for this particular campaign. But so far it's been brilliant. I think whatever happens now, it's going to be considered to be great because we've really taken more steps forward. And then we get another summer transfer window to properly see if we can make some big changes to make us much, much better next season. We'll see. But, that's always the intention, isn't it? Anyway, my ramblings are going to end. We're going to stop the episode here. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a disappointing performance today in a way that we let that goal slip away. And we lost the game ultimately, but it was against a big side. So we'll take it on the chin and we'll move forward. Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That'll help me get seen by more people. Until next time, for the end of the season, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.